UK, where you can see Angela Cresswell. So Pradeepa stayed with us for 6 months as a help in our ashram 1 year. I don't know when it was, 2013, 2014. And since then, we are conducting together the yearly trips to India and ashram retreats. Yes. And otherwise, we are making this satsang in the what we normally do in the Arsha Yoga sequence. So first we have a short chanting from Bhagavad Gita, the introductory verses in Sanskrit. You can follow it on the screen or just listen. Then a short meditation, then Jaganesha Kirtan, then talk today about Hitahara, the Ayurvedic diet. And then we have the Shanti mantras, also recitation in the Vedic way, Vedic chanting. And last, the Mrityunjaya mantra that will also be displayed on the screen. Okay, so get comfortable. Sitting up straight. Get comfortable. And here on the screen, you can see the Gita Dhyanam. So we will start with 3 times Om and then the recitation of the mantras. Inhale deeply. Pratibodhidam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratidam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandhatāmi Bhagavad-gīte Bhavaddeshinim Namostude Vyasavishala Buddhi Pullaravindayata Patranetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajjalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prabanna Parijataya Totra Vaitraika Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gītāmritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavu Dukta Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta Duktham Gītāmritam Mahate Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachayuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandharanilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwadhama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavairana-nadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachas Saroja Mamalam Gītātra Gandhotkradam Nānākhyānaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam
लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेबीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमला प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूगं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुराः सुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः.
And straight we go over into meditation. So sitting comfortably, either on the floor or on a chair. Spine is straight, head in the middle. If you are wearing glasses or watches, that you can take off now. Just making the face more free and relaxed. And then wherever you are sitting, just sit and feel the support of the earth, the points where your body and the support are touching each other. And feel how you can completely let go into the support of the earth. Let go of your tension, of your body weight, and just feel the gravity pulling you down. And at the same time, the counter support of the earth. Scan your body mentally. Maybe still somewhere is unnecessary tension holding by the body. Then when you become aware, just consciously release the tension from the body. Especially we tend to hold tension in the hips, in the hip joints, in the shoulders, and in the face. Relaxing the face and feeling the soft gaze behind the closed eyelids. Feeling the forehead becoming cool and relaxed. Allowing the jaws to separate and relax. Feeling the root of the tongue. And a slight smile inside of your mouth. And slowly becoming aware of what is in here and now, in the present moment. Just taking a step back from all the dramas and scenes of your mind. And opening up the senses, for the present moment. How is my body feeling right now? Allow it to soften into the posture. And even if there is still any tension in the body, just become aware of it. Without resistance, without trying to get rid of it. Just bring the awareness. Become aware of the sensations in your hands. Maybe heat or cold, pulsation, tickling or tingling. And like this, scan your body mentally for any sensations you can be aware of in this present moment. And then becoming aware of the inflow and outflow of your breath at the nostrils. There's a difference between becoming aware and putting effort into something. This is completely effortless. Just allowing the breath to happen and being breathed rather than breathing. And just remaining in that existence of what is at this very moment. What is happening now? Inside of me, around me, without being stuck in the past or worrying about the future, planning about the future. And just remaining in the present moment with full trust. Just by observing the sensations, observing your breath, expanding the senses. Feeling the contact of your clothes with the skin. Maybe a gentle brushing of breeze against your skin. Sounds from nearby and far. A slight taste of sweetness on your tongue. Expand upon inhalation and soften upon exhalation in the present moment. And then take a deep breath. And with a few blinks, slowly opening your eyes. And now get ready for the daily chants. Jaya Ganesha, which text you will find also on the screen. As you know from last time, we have changed the text a little bit around, so there are also other religions or religions mentioned. So we again chant in call and response. I chant and you repeat. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Raksha Mam.
Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Raksha Mam.
Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam.
Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam.
Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Raksha Mam.
Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Raksha Mam.
Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Pahi Mam. Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati, Raksha Mam.
Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati,
Jaya Saraswati, Pahi Mam. Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati, Raksha Mam. Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Pahi Mam.
Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Raksha Mam.
Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Raksha Mam.
Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Ram. Jagat Guru Param Guru Sadguru Shyam.
Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Ram. Jagat Guru Param Guru Shyam.
Om Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om.
Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om.
Chit Guru Chitana Guru Chinmaya Guru Om.
Chit Guru Chitana Guru Chinmaya Guru Om.
Om Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om. Chit Guru Chitana Guru Chinmaya Guru Om. Guru Advaita Ananda Guru Om. Chit Guru Chitana Guru Chinmaya Guru Om. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Om Namo, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Moses, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Moses, Om Namo Moses, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Jesus, Om Namo Allah, Om Namo Allah, Om Namo Buddha, 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 Om Namo Allah, Om Namo Buddha, Om Namo Buddha, Om Namo Allah, Om Namo Allah, Om Namo Buddha, Om Namo Buddha, Om Namo Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namo Namaste, Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namaste, Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namaste, Om Namaste. Om Namo Mahavir, Om Namo Mahavir, Atmanyani Satyam Davikamiva, 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 Atmanyani Lakshyam 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 Davikamiva, Amanyani Devastu Ekamiva, Atmanyani Devastu Ekamiva, Amanyani Devastu Namanyani Devastu Ekamiva, 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 Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri 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 Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Anandam 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 Brahmanandam, Anandam 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 Brahmanandam, Anandam 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 Brahmanandam, Anandam 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 Satchidanandam, Anandam 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 Paramanandam.
Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam Paramanandam.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Maybe one more kirtan. Huh? Ready? It's very easy. It's just Sitaram, Sitaram, Jaya Jaya Sitaram, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Voila. And we can start, once you get the melody, you can start chanting with me. Okay, so this is not classical call and response. So you can jump in whenever you are ready. Everybody together. Okay, and now I will pass the word to Harilal-ji for the from the kirtan. I cannot sing. Okay, for the talk on Hitahara, the diet, Ayurvedic diet.
Om. Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It is morning there, no?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is afternoon.
Okay. So today's topic is diet. One of the most complicated topic. One day, I was attending the Satsang with Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He no more alive. He got samadhi a few years back. His Satsang means there's no bhajans, there's no any other things. Once he come, there'll be questions from the followers or students written in the paper. And someone read, he just spontaneously answer. That is a satsang. There's nothing else in that. One question was about diet. Then he has very good sense of humor. And when he paused 2 seconds, everyone know some joke is coming. So as usual, he just paused to few seconds. Then he said, there are so many food freaks in the world. Actually, he criticized the people strongly, but nobody feel bad. Yeah, he said there's a lot of food freaks in the world, and mostly they are unhealthy people. So he want to say, people who too much care about the food, unfortunately, they are not able to maintain their health. The reason, people analyze in a micro level about the nutrition, and each information they are getting looks true, but human being losing the ability to look in a macro level. Anuttam, Egattam, there are two qualities of the mind. The specialization is Anuttam, the micro analyzing. We also should have a macro way of looking. Imagine a sculpturist making a sculpture on a stone is looking all minute parts of this sculpture very carefully, and time to time he is looking from far distance. He walk back and look. If he doesn't look that from far distance, if you look only the minute things, the sculpture may be not come out nicely. The same way, we have to look micro level as well as macro level. The main reason we confuse about the diet is that we discuss only about the nutrition side of the diet, which affect the body. But the guna of the food or quality, guna as per Ayurveda or Yoga, of the food is not discussed much. Many people in the modern yoga world, they think nutritious food is Sattvic food. If you take more nutritious food, you will become more Sattvic. That's the main mistake people follow or people get. You know, a reasonably cooked rice is a Sattvic food. what happens if you take full stomach rice food, or rice or any sattvic food? If you take full stomach of sattvic food, we feel sleepy. Any food, if you are taking full stomach, we feel sleepy. That means even sattvic food, when we take high quantity, it makes tamasic quality to us. So taking highly nutritious food cannot make us sattvic, and nutritious food doesn't mean sattvic. Guna affects the mind and nutrition affect the body. So keep this in your mind while I discuss about the Hitahara. Ahara means food or diet. Hidam means appropriate. Hitahara, appropriate diet. Yoga people considering the vegetarian food is right food. If the scripture want to tell vegetarian food is right food, they can directly use the term vegetarian food or veg food. No, scripture never says that human beings should eat only vegetarian food. They say Hitahara, appropriate food according to the person. But it's a fact, our main food should be vegetarian, and there are so many tamasic food among vegetarian food which we can take. And non-vegetarian food, according to the way of cooking, we can reduce its tamasic quality also. Still it is tamasic. So let us look what the scriptures, Vedic scriptures, think about the diet. Today, we are going to discuss about the diet for worldly people. People who are in material life. There are people who is not in material life. They completely follow the yogic life. We are not talking about their diet today. So, if you want to know the diet for worldly people, we cannot search the scriptures which wrote for self-realization. Like Yoga Sutra, Yoga Sutra is not directly talking about diet. Or any other scriptures like Gharanda Samhita or Shiva Samhita or Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Yoga Upanishad. These are the main scriptures which explain about yoga or Hatha Yoga. These scriptures cannot give the idea about the right diet for worldly people or material people or the people in a family life. We have to depend the Ayurveda scripture to get this knowledge. Ayurveda emphasizes specific dietary rules, including the time, quantity, and quality of the food. Ayurveda considers 7 factors related to the food. And they are Swabhava, the nature of the food, Samyoga, the combination of the food, Samskara, the processing, Matra, the quantity, Desha, the habitat of the food article as well as the habitat of the user, Kala, the season, Upayoga Vyavastha, the mode of using. These 7 factors we have to consider when we discuss about the right diet. Idam shariram kaundeya kshetra mithyabhediyade. It is from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says our body is temple and the idol in that temple is our soul. And this body is made out of the bricks of food. So our food is mainly working to making our body Our body grows and getting changes according to the food we are taking. And also it affects the atmosphere inside this temple. That means it influences the mind. So food is affecting the body as well as mind, and that affect to our self. Self means self as a two level. One is the self, which is part of our cosmic self. Other one is Jivatma, the self in our body. So the self in our body means it affects the external world and our mind and our body. So that Jivatma, the self works with our body, influenced by the food we are taking. So the food you are taking is very important. It is like the fuel in the vehicle. If you are using the right fuel in the vehicle, it runs smoothly and the vehicle will not get trouble. But if you are taking a wrong fuel, if you really wrong fuel, it may not work the vehicle, or it may work, but it will not work efficiently, or it get trouble after some time. So, like how important to use the right fuel in the vehicle, you have to use the right food. Some food looks, it make us very efficient, but it's temporary, and soon it can make problem to our system. For example, if you have a petrol engine car, if you use the petrol in that car, it works very smoothly. What happens if you're using the diesel in the petrol engine? The engine works more strongly, but the problem, after using that engine long time, not or short time, with the diesel engine, the engine will get trouble. It will damage because of the high power coming from the diesel. And if you are using the kerosene, which is comparatively not strong, if you are using the kerosene, what happened to the petrol engine? Mostly it doesn't start. We cannot start the engine. If it starts, it will work, but it will not have enough power. Also, it will damage the carburetor because of the lot of fumes will come out. So, some fuel will make work the engine, but it affect the life of the engine. The same way, some food looks, it make us strong, or some food doesn't make us strong, but it looks we are able to survive with that food. But the problem is that gradually it affects the health of the person. So the right food is very important. And there are different kind of engine. Some engine works with kerosene, some works with the petrol, some works with diesel. Like that, different systems need slightly different types of food. Let us look. So now we are mainly talking about the guna, or the quality of the food. The food can divide into three according to the guna. Guna means it's mainly affecting the mind. So we already know there are three gunas: sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. According to the quality the food creating to our mind, we can divide the food also into three. What is sattva guna food or sattvic food? The food which are fresh, wholesome, natural, with good quality, mild in spices, neither overcooked nor undercooked. The food which lending a calm alertness and giving energy, called sattvic food. So the food should be fresh and it should not be processed. For example, fruits, fresh fruits, nuts, and the cereals, sometimes we have to cook in a reasonable way. So these are the sattvic food. Then rajasic food, the food which has strong taste like salty taste, sour taste, bitter taste, or spicy and fried food. And the food which creating the thirst, these are the rajasic food. For example, if you cook a fruit, then it becomes rajasic. But if you are cooking cereals, slightly it is still sattvic. The food which cooked with artificial ingredients, or the food which processed in the factory, these are the rajasic food. So spicy food with a certain strong taste, these are the rajasic food. We know some people like bitter taste, some people like very sweet food, some people like spicy food. So this is the rajasic food. Then tamasic food, the food which is stale, tasteless, stinking, cooked overnight, means normally in tropical weather, few hours after cooked, the food become tamasic, like 3 hours after cooking, it become tamasic food. That is why in India, we always want to use the fresh food, freshly cooked food. And the food which is impure by many other ways, this is called tamasic food. For example, the decayed food and the fermented food stuff. For example, sauerkraut. Is it the English term? Sauerkraut? Sauerkraut. And the fermented food, like in South India, we have idli and dosha. Alcohol, drugs, meat, these are considering as tamasic food. So now you got an idea what is sattvic food, rajasic food, and tamasic food. So there are so many confusion about the food like onion and garlic. Many people think this food is tamasic because they know these are not recommending by yoga scriptures. But we have to know yoga scriptures are talking about the lifestyle of the yogis who are purely sattvic and they are doing the yoga for self-realization. For them, it is not recommended because it is rajasic food. It is not tamasic food, it is rajasic food. The garlic and onion has a lot of herbal qualities, but someone who want to be very sattvic, it is recommended to not use those rajasic food. And what about the coffee and tea? Coffee, when we take only coffee without any other ingredients, it is tamasic. The caffeine in the coffee is tamasic. And tea, there is a chemical called thiolin. It is tamasic. But when we take coffee and tea, normally we add a lot of water, a lot of milk, and a lot of seeds. So depends how much coffee we are adding in the tea. We have to say whether it is tamasic or mix of tamasic and rajasic. It depends the ratio of the coffee we are using. And you see, alcohol. Normally, alcohol is making purely from vegetables, fruits, and such other things. But even though it is vegetarian drink, it is not sattvic, it is tamasic. And meat is considered as tamasic food. When we eat meat, especially the young people, they looks very strong. They become energetic. So sometimes people think it is rajasic. It's not rajasic, it is actually tamasic because gradually it makes us tamasic. The person who is eating meat for a long time, for decades, you can see a lot of diseases affect like heart issues and cancers. So many such diseases will affect. Disease means it is tamasic. Also, they have some kind of sluggish movements. So meat is tamasic. And some people think fish is not tamasic. The reason they think fish, especially some kind of fish, doesn't have much cholesterol. So it is not much unhealthy for the people. So they think it is not much tamasic as meat. But you see, we are not talking about the nutrition or the protein or the fat. We are talking about guna. The meat and fish can equally. So I should a little bit explain about what is sattva, rajas and tamas. The whole world is made with three gunas. When something is purely tamas, it has no life. Everything which has life, it has rajas. When we are very calm and more close to the divine level, we are sattva. Are you able to see me? Okay, yes. When we talk about the sattva, raja, tamas of the mind, sattva guna arises hygiene and cleanness. If someone is sattva, they will have the hygiene and cleanness. Now, in the modern time, many people do not know the difference between hygiene and cleanness. Hygiene is for the body, cleanness is for the mind. When we organize the things in an order and clean and smooth and shining, it is clean, it's actually for the mind. We have to keep our surroundings clean when we want to meditate. If the surroundings are like a mess, right now I can see the mess in my in the table in front of us, and that will disturb our mind. So cleanness is for the mind. When everything is in order and looks shining and perfect, it is cleanness. But cleanness doesn't promise that our surrounding is hygiene. Hygiene is for the body. For example, if you have a very clean tiles, it looks clean, but there may be some viruses, bacteria, or other germs. So it is not hygiene. Same time, if you look the old floorings of India, we use the cow dung for flooring. Why cow dung? Cow dung is called, I call it Ayurvedic flooring. Cow dung, if you put the cow dung in the floor, it looks very dirty. It looks not clean because it's a, it's a waste from an animal. But cow dung, we use very good quality cow dung, like from organic cow dung, from the pure breed, not from the hybrid, and that we filter and we use that to spread in the floor. It looks not clean, but the cow dung, especially the dung from the pure breed, it can kill the virus. So if you are living in a compound where there is a cow, you don't get tetanus. That's why cows normally never get tetanus. The horse get tetanus, the goat get tetanus, but cow never get tetanus because the cow dung can prevent many viruses. Tetanus is getting from a tetanus virus. So maybe using the cow dung can also prevent the coronavirus. It can use as, what it called? Sanitizer. Yeah. So if you are using the cow dung for flooring, it doesn't look clean, but it is hygiene. That's the difference between hygiene and clean. So Sattva Guna rises hygiene and cleanness. Sattva Guna rises theism. Many people, in the name of spirituality, they follow some blind rituals and blind theories, blind philosophies, and they're misleading because they are not sattvic. So theism, the pure spirituality, rise in the mind if you are sattva guna. And people with Sattva Guna, they will have taste of moral deeds. They can understand what is dharma properly without much explanation. They follow dharma. They will have wisdom. Many people are intelligent in modern time, but they are not wise. Intelligent people, mostly they are stressed because they are not wise enough. And they will have self-discipline. They can follow the discipline without force anyone. These are the quality of Sattva Guna. And what is Rajo Guna? Rajo Guna arises talkativeness. People like to talk a lot. Listeners are less. Talkers are more in the modern time. Rajo Guna arises ego, I-ness, super ego.
Hello, gorgeous.
All human beings has ego, even animals has some kind of ego. But some people are super ego. Rajoguna rises self-boasting. When I started Arsha Yoga, when I want to make our website and brochure, I didn't think to put my picture in that because that's not part of our local culture. But some people said, no, we should put the picture, then only people can see your personalities and they can understand who is running this place. That time I thought about the books available in the market. When I was young, we can never see the name of the author in the front cover of the books. They put the name, they put the topic of the book as a name. And if you look inside page, you can see the name of the author in small letter. There's a culture followed here. But if you look now, you can see the name of the author in big font on the cover page, and name of the topic or name of the book is not important. If you look the scriptures from ancient time, they never claim their name in any part of the scripture. They don't want any name or fame of the scripture. You cannot see the name of the Patanjali in Yoga Sutra, but we have a method to find who wrote the scriptures. So self-boasting is the quality rising by Rajoguna. And desire for material growth, also Rajoguna. And what is Tamoguna? Tamoguna rises the competition. I want to be first. If I want to be first, I have to defeat other people. Fear about losing job, fear about losing health, fear about losing the beauty, fear about death. This all the Tamoguna. Ignorance, sleep, laziness, aggressiveness, sadness, all this is from the Tamoguna. These are the three qualities, three types of qualities affecting to the mind. So according to which guna rise in our mind, we can classify the food into three: sattva food, rajas food, and tamas food. Now the question, what food we have to eat? What do you think? Normally, people answer, we have to eat sattva food because many scriptures talk about sattva food. Ayurveda also tells Rajoguna and Tamoguna is not good, but they never say do not eat Rajoguna food or Tamoguna food. But they say try to avoid Rajoguna and Tamoguna food. Let us see what will happen if you avoid the Rajoguna or Tamoguna food. If you take only Sattvic food and the person is following worldly life, he needs a lot of rajas to take care of the family, to earn the money for working, to deal with the social life. we need Rajoguna. And if you are not taking Rajasic food, from where we get Rajoguna? It can create disease. It take our ojas. Ojas means the ojas means the energy level. There's no proper translation for that. The pranic energy, it reduces the ojas, it reduces the energy. Gradually we fall into sick, means we fall into tamasic quality. And if we have tamasic quality, if our mind is dwelling with the tamasic ideas or tamasic activities, then if you don't take tamasic food, it also take our ojas, and it also take our energy level, and it make us disease. So we have to select the food according to our activities. Mostly we do not want to follow the tamasic activities, but there are few people in the world, they have to follow tamasic activities. For example, the defense people in the defense and people in the police, sometimes they have to use some tamasic force to maintain the discipline in the society. They need some tamasic food, otherwise they will get into sick. That is why if you look in the most of the countries, they provide tamasic food like alcohol and the meat for the military people. If they do not take tamasic food, either they become very sattvic, and even in the crisis, they don't feel to defend their country. So it is not good. They need some tamasic food. And very rarely, very small percentage of people need tamasic food, and that they don't need lots, only little bit. And the people in the worldly life who has family, who has responsibility, who has to earn the money, they have to take some rajasic food according to how much rajasic activity he's doing. If he's a young person with family and children, with a lot of social activities, they need little bit more rajasic food. But someone retired, they have no much responsibility, they are more in a spiritual path, they need less rajasic food. But if someone is retired and they want to gradually give up all the responsibilities and they want to become a brahmachari and follow pure spiritual path, they have to take a lot of sattvic food and gradually they have to reduce the rajasic food. So very important thing, if you are using tamasic food like meat, or if you are taking a lot of rajasic food, don't stop immediately. That can make you sick, because if you just stop the tamasic food and rajasic food, immediately your mind is not going to become sattvic. That your mind will be keeping the same pattern of activities. So you have to gradually reduce the unhealthy food, and gradually you have to work to reduce your rajasic and tamasic qualities. So this is the main aspect we have to understand when we think about what is the right food. So take the right combination of rajo, tamas and sattvic food. If you are a healthy person, you don't need to take tamasic food. We need tamas. Without tamas, we cannot sleep. We will get insomnia. We don't feel to rest even if you are tired. So we need tamas, but we don't need tamasic food, because when our system works for digestion and some other purpose, it creates the tamas. So we don't need to take tamasic food for sleeping. But if you are a sick person, you may need tamasic food as medicine, like alcohol give as medicine. But if you are sick, you are not eligible to select your medicine. That will select by the therapist. So you don't need to think about taking tamasic food unless it is not recommended by the therapist. But according to your activities, you have to take some portion of rajasic food. What will happen if you give up garlic and onion, still you are keeping a lot of rajasic activities. You will feel to take rajasic food, and your tongue will crave certain taste, and you will feel to eat some artificial food which satisfy this taste. And what is the result? You don't get the real rajasic quality from the food. Same time, the tamasic quality of the food will make you tamasic. For example, people who give up the rajasic, natural rajasic food, they will feel to eat a lot of chocolate and artificial food. So you cannot see any scripture is telling do not take chocolate. So people think, okay, Patanjali didn't tell do not take chocolate, so I can eat chocolate or I can eat ice cream. They eat this kind of artificial food which has a lot of tamasic ingredients, artificial things adding in the food is actually tamasic. So what you have to do that, take naturally rajasic food in a small portion, like garlic or onion. It's not necessary to take garlic, but onion, or use some spices. If you are not much rajasic, still you might need a little bit rajasic. For that, take some cooked food with spices. That will make the food rajasic. And very, very small quantity tamas we need. Very small quantity. If you are in a family life, even if you are a healthy person. That we get from fermented food, partially fermented food, like dosha, idli, sauerkraut. We need very, very small quantity. We are getting B12 from this partially fermented tamasic food. That we need very small quantity. Even vegetarian animals need B12. What they do, like deer in the nature, in summer, when there is a fruits, fall from the tree, and when it decay, you can see some fruits will have some foams because it's spoiled, and this animal sometimes they go and eat that particular spoiled fruit because it is fermented inside and it can satisfy the demand of B12. We need very, very small quantity B12. Our body can store B12 for 6 months. So the partially fermented food we are getting in summer or some other season is enough to compensate the B12 in our body. And about the nutrition, how we get the right level of nutrition? There's a very simple method. We don't need to cook our brain to know what is our right food. Ayurveda says the food should be Shadrasa Madhura Priyam. Shadrasam, 6 taste. The food should have 6 taste. 6 tastes are bitter, sweet, sour, salt, pungent. Pungent means spicy, astringent. Like the taste of certain berries and like the beer. This kind of tastes are astringent. Fermented food has astringent taste. If we need all these 6 tastes in our diet, and we should take big quantity of carbohydrate compared to other things. Means we don't need to take lot of vegetables in our diet. Majority should be carbohydrate. People who used to eat meat lot, they used to eat lot of salad. But if you are a vegetarian, you don't need to eat lot of vegetables. If you take lot of vegetables, the result will be you get lot of nutrition. It will make us rajasic. This nutrition will flush out through our urine, but before it flush out through our urine, it makes us rajasic. That's the one reason the people in the modern society has more stress because of the overnutrition. So make sure we are taking just sufficient quantity of food, whether it is carbohydrate or fat or protein or other nutrition. take sufficient quantity. Then how we can make sure we are getting all the nutrition? The simple way is that avoid artificial food, avoid the food made in the factory, eat the natural food, if necessary, sufficiently cooked at our home, then eat what your tongue asks. Remember, avoid all the artificial food, processed food, take natural food prepared at your home and eat what your tongue asks. Tongue know what your system needs. If your system need vitamin C, tongue will crave certain taste. The food from the nature with that taste will compensate vitamin C. Once your body get enough vitamin C, you don't feel anymore to eat that certain taste. If your system needs B12, then your tongue will ask the food which has B12. For example, a vegetarian animal in the nature, when it needs B12, it feels to eat fermented food. It will crave for that and it will eat very tastily. I remember one of my friends, when she became vegetarian, she used to tell me once in a year or once in 6 months, she said once in 6 months, she feels to eat pickle. And she buy 1 or 2 bottles of pickle, she eat in 1 week, then she doesn't feel to eat that anymore. I thought it's some kind of cliche she has, that she has to eat pickle once in 6 months. But later when I analyzed this, I understood when she has deficiency of B12, she feels to eat the fermented food. The pickles are actually processed in a, if you process it in a proper way, it is fermented. So it compensates the B12. So I will tell you one more example. The people who is pregnant, normally they will feel to eat sour fruit, fresh, sour, tender fruit, because certain sour fruits has folic acid. But in modern time, the moment we find that we are pregnant, doctors immediately write the folic acid. So they take the folic acid tablet and they don't feel this certain food. But if you are not taking the natural food, what happens? You crave certain taste, then there will be some artificial food available in the market with the same taste, and we eat that. It is tasty, it is satisfying our tongue, but we don't get the certain nutrition. Same time, it make our body sick. So very easy. You don't need to bother about what nutrition you are taking, and I am following that. I'm not worried about the nutrition. I try to avoid artificial food. Very rarely I take artificial food when I travel. And I try to take maximum homemade food, and I eat as my tongue asks. I eat as I feel. So I think I never bother about the nutrition, and I don't get problem from my diet. So I think it is already time to stop. If you have any question, short question, I will try to answer. This diet is a very long topic. I think already there are few people who did yoga therapy training with me. They know I spent nearly 4 hours to talk about this. That is very short time, 4 hours. But now I made it in half an hour. If you have any short questions, please.
Is there anything in Ayurveda about fasting, Harry?
I didn't hear. Can you repeat, please?
What does Ayurveda say about fasting?
Yes. I have to say, holistic approach. Fasting recommended only when you are relaxed. We should not fast with a stressed mind. So fasting is not using in Ayurveda, but we give simple food. I hope you are able to listen. Yeah, you are hearing. Okay. We had to use simple food. We avoid nutritious food. We avoid the nutrition. We take only carbohydrate in a very cooked form. So we get enough energy, but our system doesn't get strained because we are avoiding the nutrition. That's recommended by Ayurveda. But if you're really a spiritual person, if your mind is calm, not stressed, you can fast. That is what animals do. But human being, when they are busy life, Ayurveda doesn't suggest fasting. The Sanskrit term for fasting is Ubhavasam. You might hear the word Upanishad. Upanishad means sit close to the Guru or the God. Ubhavasam means sit close to the God. When we are sitting close to the God, we will not be hungry. That means our mind should be really spiritual and free from unnecessary thoughts. We should think sattvic things and we should think about the God. In that state, we can do the fasting. We should not fast with stressed mind. That's what Vedic science says. But take simple food. There are two yoga therapists in the Satsang, Vani and Pradipa. And Meera and me. Vanya, yes, sorry. Meera character.
My computer just died battery, so I'm moving across the room to other side. Okay, so do we have time for Shanti mantras or we just go for Mrityunjaya mantra?
Yeah, I guess it's up to I'm happy to do.
Yeah, we can have Shanti mantra. It's a few minutes.
Yeah, a few minutes more.
Okay.
Om Sahana Vavadu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vathidamastu Ma Vidyushavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shamno Mitra Shamvarunaha Shamno Bhavaturyama Shamna Indro Brihaspadihi Shamno Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ridam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavadu Tatvaktaramavadu Avadumam Avadu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranas Chakshushrotram Adho Belamindriyani Ja Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastu Anirakaraname astu Tadatmani nirade Ya Upanishatsu dharmaha Te mai sandu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram no Abhivadaya Manaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pasye Makshaviryajatraha. Sthirairangayistuštuvagam sastanubhihi. Vyashema devahidam yadayuhu. Swastina Indro Vrittashravaha. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swastina Stakshu Arishtanemihi. Swastino Brihaspati Tadadu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vang Me Manasi Pradishtida. Mano Me Vachi Pradishtidam. Aviravirma Eti. Vedasya Maani Istaha. Shrudam Me Ma Prahasihi. Anenadite Nahoratran. Sandadami. Ridam Vadishyami. Satyam Vadishyami. Tanmamavadu. Tadvaktaramavadu. Avadu Mam. Avadu Vaktaram. Avadu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarubaha. Chandobhyodhyamrda Asambhabuva. Samendro Medhaya Aspranodu. Amradasya Devatharano Bhuyasam. Shariram Me Vijashanam. Jihva Me Madhumattama. Karna Abhyam Bhuri Vishruvam. Brahmana Koshosi Medhaya Pihidaha. Shrudam Me Gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Aham Vrikshasya Reriva. Kirti Prishtam Gireriva. Urdha Pavitro Vajiniva Swamridamasmi. Dravinagum Savarchasam. Sumedha Amrudokshidaha. Idi Trishangor Vedanuvajanam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tamaso Asato Ma Satgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityor Ma Amridam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaः. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dughabhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mrityunjaya mantra. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. Purvarugamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamridade. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. Purvarugamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamridade. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. Purvarugamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamridade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om.
Om.
Thank you very much.